what he could not get done in a year, we got done in an hour.
No kidding.
Not only did we get through all the wickets of the VA.gov application for his certificate of eligibility to use his VA benefits, but he applied at WSU Tech right then and there. And I am happy to say he's attending classes this fall.
No kidding. Bless your heart. Welcome to Tech Talk with WSU Tech, where we dive into all things WSU Tech and highlight the voices within our college community. I'm Dr. Sherry Utash, and today we have the honor of chatting with Terri Shippen. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We always like to start off by having you introduce yourself and talk a little about the work that you do and how it aligns with the mission of WSU Tech.
Well, as you said, my name is Terri Shippen, and I am the Veteran Community Resource Navigator at WSU Tech. Long name for a short little mission, and it's the best mission ever. I basically help our military and veterans with their benefits and their family members. So how that comes about and serves the mission of the college is it provides that support network that is so important in navigating higher education to help our service members and their families and get that next level of training that they need. And it helps not only the student, but it helps our community and, of course, economic development.
So let's go backwards a bit.
Okay.
So for those that don't know, what is a navigator? And how many are there, and how did you get into this?
Well, at WSU Tech, there's three of us, and two of them are in the Hispanic community, and they're embedded in this Hispanic community, helping them navigate higher education. And then there's myself that helps the veterans and the military.
So your background, and I know this because I used to work with you many years ago, and I'm super, super happy to have you back at WSU Tech, or have you here, I guess. You didn't leave and come back. But where's your love for the military come from? Well,
as you know, I also served in the Air Force for 6 years, and I did actually radio and television broadcasting. Little known fact.
So this is really like second nature to you.
Well, you keep in mind that was 30 years ago, Sherry. So, but that's definitely, it's just my passion. I worked for 20 years at McConnell Air Force Base with another institution, a higher education institution. But just knowing the challenges that veterans face as they transition, I've been there, I've done that. And that's definitely where my passion comes from and why I'm so grateful that this job even exists.
So I want to, first of all, thank you for your service, because that is a huge sacrifice to our country, and it was a selfless sacrifice. So thank you for your service.
It was an honor and a pleasure.
The second thing I want to say is, if you think back to when you were there, what were the things that you're going to do in this role? How would that have been helpful to you?
Wow. Just knowing that, higher education can be very intimidating.
Especially, lots of acronyms, just like the military.
Just like the military. Yeah, it's a language of its own, right? So what would have been helpful to me is just to know that it's possible and that there are resources out there. And if you just search, and it really don't even have to search that hard, just ask some questions, people are willing to help. And that is probably the biggest takeaway that I try to help military people navigate. I've heard it I've been doing this now 25 years. And the thing I probably, the biggest challenge, the takeaway that I have is changing their mind, their perception of themselves. Because so often I would hear, I just wasn't cut out for college, so I joined the military. The thing of it is, that may have been true when you were in high school, but 5-10 years down the road, you're a different person. We're all different at 5 or 10 years down the road. So that getting over that hurdle, that mind perception that I'm not cut out for college, you are. Trust me. You went through basic training. You've done deployments.
Technical training.
Right.
Tech training. Tech school.
It's not easy. So this is a cakewalk compared to some of the experiences that they've had at that point in their life. And I remind them of that. So just getting over that hurdle is probably the biggest challenge that I think they face.
So I know when we put this role together, we know that there are resources for those that are active duty, enlisted,
Correct.
that kind of thing. There's not as much resource for those families, spouses, partners, children.
True.
So how's that playing out?
Well, like you said, the military, they have an education office at every installation. So that's where they start. And they've got to go through briefings and things like that before they can even use their tuition assistance benefits. But VA, you may have had a transition assistance day or week, but that's a lot of information coming at you at once. And this is very specific to just higher education. So what I like to do is I like to walk them from start to finish. And I start with va.gov website, honestly. And as you know, the Veterans Administration, they not only cover higher education, they cover medical benefits, they cover burial services, they cover VA loans. So it's a very daunting task to maybe go through that process, especially if somebody's not computer savvy. So
Sure.
I like to start them there. And we also have a great WSU Tech Veteran Services webpage that I direct them to because it's got all the financial aid information. I highly encourage them to do that financial aid because that also opens up all the doors to the scholarships. And there are very specific scholarships on our website, our Veteran Services webpage, that I like to direct them to that they may not know about. I also like to go to our orientations and get them right as they come in the door so they know exactly what to expect. It's that once it's knowledge is power, right? And it's a step-by-step process. Once they know that, then they're empowered to use those benefits. And I never want them to leave those benefits on the table. It's
And
wasted
so
money.
many times they do.
Mhm.
So many times they do because they think it's too hard.
Right.
So the whole idea is to make it easier, reduce the barriers, reduce the fear, the anxiety, and create the self-efficacy and confidence to be able to do that.
And that's my job. That's where I step in.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Tell me about a success story that you have, something that just sticks out in your mind where you were like, okay, this is this meaningful moment that made a difference in a student's life in the work you've done. Give me one. I know you've got a lot of them.
That's my warm fuzzies. And they don't happen every day, but boy, when they do, it's just it's amazing. I'll try to tell you this one without crying. So
am I going to cry too?
You might. Just warning you. I'm embedded in the community, specifically at a place called Passageways. And that's downtown Delano, right behind Delano Diner. And it's a warehouse / thrift store. So they raise money for in their thrift store for homeless veterans, specifically. They even have a home that they bought, and they can house 8 to 9 veterans at a time. They walk them through the financial budgeting. They help them with job placement, and then they rehome them. So the warehouse part is the other back of the building where it's like Christmas for them, and they can go through there and pick out furnishings for their home for free. So it's everything from furniture to their kitchen appliances. It's everything. So I'm there. I started there maybe 2 months into the job. And I get a call from a student just randomly. And I said, well, I'm down in Passageways today. I'm in Delano. And he said, well, I live in Delano. So I said, well, just come down and I'll help you. He was trying to get his VA benefits. He'd been trying for a year to get through the process.
Yeah.
And what he could not get done in a year, we got done in an hour.
No kidding.
Not only did we get through all the wickets of the VA.gov application for his certificate of eligibility to use his VA benefits, but he applied at WSU Tech right then and there. And I am happy to say he's attending classes this fall.
No kidding. Bless your heart.
He was. I wish that was just a aha moment for me. He had a traumatic brain injury, and he simply couldn't take a picture of his government ID.
No kidding.
And I asked if I could help. I helped him. And then there's a video conference call you have to do. They verify in person to verify your identification. Got it all done, and he's rocking and rolling.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so
I happened
much.
again this week when I was down at Passageways.
So how often are you down there?
Once a week from 10 to 2 on Wednesdays.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. That is powerful.
They're doing great things down there. I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity to just do a small act that is so profound.
Yes, absolutely. Life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for those veterans that are unhoused and really, really need a pathway.
Yes.
And need a roadmap. So a lot of times I just say, we just need to provide a roadmap for people.
Yes.
People just need help navigating. It's not that they don't want to do it. They don't know how.
Right. Right.
No matter what their age.
And all those benefits that they have and just not knowing how to access them or feeling intimidated by it, by the whole process, it can be very daunting. So just to have somebody that you think, okay, you know what? Terri said I could call anytime. I'm going to call her.
Love that.
Yeah, I do too.
Love that. Love it. Love it. So we have a program that we kicked off not too long ago called Heroes Make America.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been a great initiative for us, Textron, McConnell Air Force Base, and the Manufacturing Institute.
And Kansas Workforce Alliance.
And Kansas Workforce Alliance. Talk about that program. Talk about what it is, what we've been doing, and what impact it's having.
Well, there are right now, almost 500,000 manufacturing jobs available in the United States alone. And there seems to be this disconnect between industry and getting licenses and certifications for our military people who have all this experience. They just don't have the credentialing needed when they transition, and they will transition at some point. Mm-hmm. So the Manufacturing Institute started this branch called Heroes Make America. And along with them, WSU Tech, McConnell Air Force Base, Textron Aviation, Kansas Workforce Alliance, we have lots of players here. And this has been years in the making, but it launched this year. We have sent around 40 military members through an accelerated 6-week program to get their A&P license, which is a level up that they would not have had otherwise.
Absolutely, they would not have.
Yes, and now I can see this growing into healthcare. We could do this, replicate the same model in healthcare, in IT, and fill these gaps that are needed in industry. Mm-hmm. So it's been so exciting, and I've been so happy to be a part of that as well. And just, kudos to WSU Tech for already seeing that vision. So,
that's near and dear to my heart just because of my husband. In 21 years in the military as a maintainer, he gets out, he retires, he goes to work at Bombardier in research and development, and they say, you still need your A&P license. Oh, wow. So back then, he drove every weekend for 2 years.
For 2 years.
To Salina to get his A&P license.
Something that could have been done in 6 weeks for him.
That was just something I just always thought, if I were ever in a place to change this. And then as I was going around to air bases as an Air Mobility Civic Command leader, I heard it all over the nation.
Yes.
Everywhere I went, I would be with maintainers, and they would say, how do you get your A&P license? How do you get your FAA license? So I agree with you. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Mm-hmm. I do believe this program or a subsection of this program in some way can really take us across the United States to all of our air mobility bases, to all of our maintainers, and give them the opportunity so when they do separate or retire, which they will, but they still have another career in front of them.
That's
they're
right.
Ready to go.
Well, it's no wonder this was a passion project of yours.
That passion project.
For a lot of years. Yeah. And I will say, McConnell Air Force Base and WSU Tech, we were the first ones to launch this with HMA. That was the first Air Force base and the first time for an A&P accelerated program. And they've done another one now in, I want to say, Georgia. They launched another one.
I think that's right.
So
Georgia's in big need.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Alabama,
so
Georgia.
It's been so exciting to see it happen.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you're on the ground floor of this because I think this has a lot of potential.
Me too.
And I'm so excited about what it will, the roadmap it provides for those airmen and women that are on the flight lines across our nation.
I agree. It can only grow from here.
I agree. All right. So if you are a veteran, What advice do you give them to move forward, realize their hope, their dream, and to continue beyond what they've known in the military?
Well, I would definitely say, please take advantage of the fact that we are here. There are support services everywhere, especially for veterans, not just in higher education, but in the community. But just speaking specifically to using your VA benefits, I tell them all the time, it's money that you're leaving on the table.
They earned it.
Exactly. And I tell people that too. This is a benefit. We are responsible as an institution for being fiscally responsible with their benefit, but it is not just some kind of a handout. They've earned this, and they should use it and use it wisely, whether it's for themselves, for their spouse, for their children. Use it. So that's first and foremost. And secondly, I know the challenges. I was newly married and 5 months pregnant when I got my degree as a young airman in the Air Force. I know the challenges. Yeah. So it's like anything, though. If it's a priority, you make this a priority, it's going to pay off. You spent how many years, X amount of years in the military giving back to your country. It's time to give back to yourself now. So don't let that go to waste. That's what I love to tell them.
Yeah, and that's really good advice. So how can we best support your mission? Those that are listening that work at WSU Tech, and maybe people out in the community that are hearing this, what can they do to help you?
Well, at WSU Tech in particular, I have a goal that I want to train faculty and staff on the military culture. So come to the training. That would be first and foremost. Because we know there's a whole military language that
there is.
Would help if we could be more inclusive in using that type of language when it comes to our veterans who are taking classes. As far as the community, I'm telling you, the support that we need right now is the VA benefits are not in place. That's a long, arduous process to be able to get a program approved through the VA, through a state approving agency. That's really who does the approving. So right now we are needing funding for the programs like the HMA program. So that is definitely a need that the community can provide. And there are approximately 3,000 service members transitioning every year just out of the state of Kansas. Why not retain that talent right here in the state? So obviously opening up those pipelines so that we can employ them in our state and use them wisely, that's going to be a huge help.
So I know you know this phrase, and it's so true. We want to keep our veterans and those that are separating from the military, we want to keep them here.
Yes.
And the old saying, here by chance, stay by choice, in Wichita. So everything that we are doing, they're here by chance. We want them to stay by choice. So the work that you're doing is so incredibly important to that. I know your heart. I know you. I've known you for many years, and we worked together at McConnell years and years ago. I know your love for this. I know your passion for it. We are super, super happy to have you in this role. We love our veterans, and that is such an incredibly critical part of building the future of Wichita and the talent pipeline that we need.
Well, I want to thank you for just having this position even existing, because I really already feel that it's made such an impact on people's lives. You have to know that.
Thank you. So thank you for tuning in to Tech Talk with WSU Tech. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And until next time, stay connected and keep exploring the incredible work that's happening right here at WSU Tech.